So far, when we've called results from a select query, it's returned as many results as are available within the parameters of the select query we specified. We can also manually restrict the number of rows that the select query will return by using a limit clause. Let's have a look in our sample database, and we're going to run a select clause on the customers table. As we can see, there are 4 rows in the customers table. Now, if we wanted to restrict our select query to only return, say, 2 rows, we could very simply add a limit clause with the word limit followed by the number of rows we want it to return. You'll notice that the 2 rows that it does return start from the very first row available. Now, this beginning point is implied when we simply say limit 2, but if we want to start from a different point in the returned rows, we can say, for instance, limit 1, which will specify the row that we want to start from, and then the number of rows, in this case 2. I should point out that the first row, in this case, is known as 0. So when we say that we want to start the rows that are returned from 1, we're not starting from the first row, we're actually starting from the second. That's the reason we get Simon and Billy rather than Jenny and then Simon. So in a way, when we specify limit 2, as we did in our first example, what we're really specifying is limit 0, 2, which brings up exactly the same results. We can also use our limit clause together with an order by clause. For instance, we wanted to order the results from the customers table by surname, and we wanted that order to be descending. We could then also impose a limit on it of 2. To get the next 2 results, we'd simply specify that we wanted to start from row 2, which is, of course, is the third row rather, and then we wanted another 2 results. So there we'd be able to get the other 2 results still in the same order by surname descending down to B. So that's how we restrict the number of rows that we receive back from a select query. In our next movie, we're going to look at joining more than one table together.